Look out! Here come former SportsCenter anchor Bob Stevens, esteemed basketball coach Rich Basirico, and Hall of Fame sports writer Curry Kirkpatrick. And someone's going under the bus.
Welcome into Under the Bus, as three old guys who have been thrown under a few buses ourselves return the favor. I'm Bob Stevens, formerly of ESPN, along with Rich Basirico, Hall of Fame high school basketball coach, and Curry Kirkpatrick, Hall of Fame writer. Of course, you probably know him most from Sports Illustrated, but he's written for all the great national publications and waxed poetic in books and other places as well. We got to begin by talking Olympics. The U.S. and China won the same number of gold medals. I've even got a breakdown. We won ours in things like track and field and swimming. They won theirs in diving and shooting. I don't know. First thing I want to throw at you is should we change what the Olympic sports are? Because I'm also down that we did not win gold in breaking.
That's the thing I was disappointed how we cannot do better in breakdancing.
Which used to be called breakdancing. When it was breakdancing, we were better.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, it's called breaking for the Olympics, but it's always been breakdancing to me.
When did it become an Olympic sport?
When I was doing it, it was breakdancing.
Yeah, when you were doing it.
You
were breakdancing, Curry?
Yeah, sure.
When the hell were you doing that?
I was doing that on the sand. Well, I was doing it on the sand, so when I fell a lot, it was easy for me. So
easy getting up.
We kind of choked in the breakdancing.
Wow. And not the girl from Australia. She didn't get any points.
Well, actually, and they're called B girls or B boys or something like that. Yeah. And we had one. He was doing it for the bronze medal though, right? They showed him on the night show one night, the last night, I think.
Yeah, we did win bronze. We also won no medals at beach volleyball. How can we not be? How are we not the power of beach volleyball?
Well, since I retired from that, also they've had a hard time. They've had a hard time medaling. No, I can believe it that we got beat and we got beat early, right? We didn't get to the gold medal game, did we?
No, we didn't get a medal in either men's or women's beach volleyball. Yeah. Crazy. Great moments. What you guys think, and who should be thrown under the bus?
Well, I mean, from the standpoint of men's basketball, I mean, Curry was amazing, was he not? I mean, especially down the stretch. I mean, he was unconscious making those shots. He gets his feet so set so quickly because people always talk about how fast he gets his shot off, but he gets his feet set and ready to shoot. It was fun to watch. And
on that, except on that last shot, Rich, that amazing shot where he was double teamed. I don't think he was set for that.
He was not. You're right.
He said after the game, he said after the game, he just fired that baby up. He didn't know where it was going. And it looked like, I mean, that was the shot that Bob, you mentioned, in the last week when we talked that if anybody else, I mean, he has two Hall of Famers, greatest players in basketball, LeBron James and Kevin Durant, wide open. Right. And he shot it anyway. He was great.
Coach, you're calling a timeout there and you're yanking him, aren't you?
No, I don't think so. Down the stretch, he was so hot. I mean, he doesn't even look to pass the ball to those guys. He knew how he was feeling. You know, as you guys played basketball before, when you're feeling that and you feel the rock in your hands, you're not giving up to anybody. Yeah. And he was so smooth there. But, when you look about people throwing the bus, how about the French? They shoot 30 3-pointers right now. Granted, USA shot 50% for the 3-point line. They shot 9 for 30, and they continue to shoot 3-pointers. Well, when you got to realize that's not your game tonight, because they were in that game. I think they shot themselves out of the game. And lastly, how about Rudy Gobert? He's the top defensive player in the NBA in the U.S., supposedly the best basketball in the world, and he only plays 12 minutes for the French.
He played like a dog, though. You see, when he got in, it seemed like he didn't even care. He wasn't. There was no imminence about it. It was I think he seemed like he was, in an exhibition game at home or something. I don't know.
Well, I think because he felt he wasn't playing a whole lot when he got in there. He didn't, like you say, he played like a dog. But you play the guy 12 minutes, he had 2 points and 3 rebounds. For the guy that the Minnesota Timberwolves traded 9 players for. 9. Count that, 9. He plays 12 minutes for the French.
Well, speaking of which, our team had a player that was, I believe, is 9 times All NBA, and he played exactly 0 minutes in the gold medal game. Or no, I'm talking about Tatum. He played 11 minutes, right? He played 0 minutes against Serbia in the semifinal game, right?
And didn't play in the final game either.
No, he played a few minutes. I think he played 11 minutes.
Oh, okay. I watched the game. I didn't in the game. Wow.
I thought he did. I thought they put him in just to, I don't know. What's that going to be like when he gets to play Kerr in the Golden State?
I don't know. I don't understand that. I mean, how is he not good enough to get some minutes? I mean, did you see Bob Cousy even came out and said something about that? He said,
who even
when
thought
Cousy comes out and says something, hey, there are experts that say he's in a top 5 player in the NBA. Some guys even say he's the best player in the NBA, and he can't get on the floor in the Olympics. Come on,
Rich, you're a coach. I mean, you've got a team, and Kerr's explanation is it's only a 40-minute game, and only 10 guys can play. Well, no, that's wrong. Right. I mean, you're a coach. You can, you start the game, you play 5 minutes, you put him in 5 minutes at the 5-minute mark and see what he does.
Right.
And if he does well, you keep him in. If he doesn't do well, you take him out. But
yeah, how he doesn't get to see the floor is mind-boggling. Really is mind-boggling.
Yeah.
I don't understand why Kerr. I don't understand that part of it. I really don't. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. And keep the guys fresh. Keep their legs fresh.
Of course, all the Boston Hawks are saying Kerr's had it out for the Celtics, and he was trying to get in their heads and all this stuff. Well, I don't think that had anything to do with it. I just think.
You didn't think it was a good matchup? I don't understand. I would love to pick his brain and say, you didn't think he matched up well with their players? I don't get it.
I don't know.
No.
How about the other hoops? The women's hoops, they win the gold medal for the 8th straight time. Right. And again, it looked like if you're going to throw anybody under the bus, it's the French women for continuing to jack up threes there in the fourth quarter when they really didn't need to.
That's right. They Bob, for the game, they shot 7 for 36 for the game. And you're right, in the fourth quarter, they were within striking distance. Why they continue to shoot threes? But listen to this stat. They took 73 shots total, and the U.S. shot 56 times. 73 to 56 in total shots. And it's a huge difference.
I used to know college coaches, and you guys could probably know this better than I, that was the stat they looked at. How many shots did I get versus how many shots the other team got? If I got more shots, I probably should win.
Correct.
And if I can get more shots, I'll win.
Right. Well, if I would have said to you before the game, we're going to shoot 56 times, they're going to shoot 73, who do you say is going to win the game?
Right.
Yeah.
They are.
Well, and the great Diana Taurasi got exactly 0 shots because she played exactly 0 minutes. She's 42. She had the best line of the tournament, though. They asked her afterwards. She didn't play in the game, so they asked her afterwards, what did it feel like beating out Sue Bird to get your 6th gold medal? And Sue Bird only had 5. Right. And Diana Taurasi said, well, it's great because that's the only reason I was here. That's the only reason she said, that's the only reason I wanted to be here. And she said, by the way, did you notice Sue and I scored exactly the same amount of points?
Overall, any other things really?
Well, I've got a couple of moments of my favorite moments of the Olympics, and actually we touched on it last week, and I think the two of the great players in golf and in tennis, go to the Olympics. They don't get paid any money. But by the way, our amateur Olympians now get paid, so they got paid more than Novak Djokovic or Scotty Scheffler. And I watched the final tennis match against Alcaraz, 2 sets, 2 tiebreak sets. One of the great matches of the decade, I think, and one of the great victories Djokovic has ever had. And he just, he just was weeping, fell to the clay, crying his eyes out. They went in the stands. There's this great still photo of him holding his daughter and just crying his eyes out. And then Scheffler shoots a 62 in the final round. 62. Everybody else is shooting 64, 65. I understand it, but he shot 62 and he won the gold medal. And, it took him a little longer to realize what he'd done. But by the time he got to the medal stand and the anthem is playing the national anthem, he was weeping. Rich, you remember this?
Yeah.
He just broke down. And when's the last time Scotty Scheffler? I mean, this is a guy that's had one of the great seasons in golf. He's won 6 or 7 tournaments. Yeah. He's got arrested at one tournament.
I was going to say he didn't even break down when he went to jail. Yeah,
that's right. And he's had a baby. Did he cry when he had a baby? That was only a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And but he gets to France and Paris and wins the gold medal, and he's crying on the medal stand. I mean, I'll never forget that. And I'm not a Scheffler fan, but it was 2 of the great moments, really.
I think when you win, I mean, you win, championships, so forth. Winning a gold medal's got to be the best. It's got to be the best, representing your country, and it's terrific. I can imagine how emotional it is.
Oh, I got a story. I got a gold medal story for you that I have been involved in that I forgot to tell last week.
Love stories.
When I was in Cleveland, I got to be friends with a gold medal boxer in the Olympics. Guy named Pete Rademacher won the gold in Melbourne in 1956, heavyweight. The big guy. The next Olympics.
I remember his name. His name.
Yeah. The next Olympics in 1960. It's Cassius Clay who wins the gold medal. But anyway, in 56, Rademacher wins the gold medal. He did fight professionally just a couple of times. Lost to Floyd Patterson. His first professional fight was against Floyd Patterson. He lost, so it didn't go well for him as a pro. But as an amateur, he wins the gold medal. He used the gold medal as a ball mark when we played golf. Because it's a fabulous is there a better conversation starter than that? Or you're on the first green and he marks his ball and it's with the gold medal.
I got something for you.
Oh.
That's great. Hey, let me bring up something. The two matches in my rugby sevens I want to talk about.
Yeah,
because I thought rugby was an 11-person game, and it is.
It is. Yes.
But the Olympics doesn't have rugby 11s, right? They just have rugby sevens, which I didn't even know existed.
Yeah.
But in the men's match, Fiji, which has won the gold medal a bunch of years, played France, homestanding France, 50, 60,000 in the stands. And apparently NBC produces this guy for France whose name is Antoine Dupont. Now, you can't be more French than that. And Antoine Dupont, he's 27 years old. After halftime, he gets the kickoff, the halftime kickoff, and takes it 80 yards to what is it called? A try? It's a touchdown. It's a try, or whatever it counts.
Right.
They were tied 7-7. He makes that for 14-7. He gets another goal and a half, and he assists on the third. And it turns out that he's like the GOAT of the sport. NBC tells us, and he's a national hero. I mean, the French think of him the way they think of Messi and Michael Jordan. I mean, the guy, Antoine Dupont. It was an amazing finish for France, and they win the gold. Now the women come up, and I think you remember this. We're playing for the bronze.
Yes. And
we're down a couple of points, and there's this incredible scrum. There's like a couple minutes left, and we're playing Australia, and there's a scrum in their end of the field.
Yeah.
And an American woman comes up with the ball. Her name is Alex Cedric, and they call her Spiff because I guess she got the name because everything she does is spiffy. And Spiff came out with that ball from the scrum and pounded. She pounded one Australian girl down, and juked another one, and then she went clear grass the entire field to win the bronze medal in the last second. It was I don't think there was a better finish in the whole Olympics.
No. That's fair. Well, although there were some great finishes. I mean, there's
Some great
Noah
finishes.
Lyles
There
in the
were.
100. Noah Lyles in the 100
Oh
meters
yeah.
was
It
a
was
great
amazing.
finish.
Yeah.
The guy running by to win the what was it, the 1500? We had a last
Yeah,
second
we had the
winner there.
American won that. It was great stuff.
How about the woman from the Netherlands who finishes third in the 5K and third in the 10K, but then comes from behind and wins the marathon in a
Oh, yeah.
sprint? Unbelievable. Anyway, the
Yeah.
performances, I think we're probably, we don't even need Rich to tell us the performances.
Has Rich disappeared? Has Rich disappeared, or what's happening?
He's disappeared.
Right.
We'll take a break and get him back up and do all that. Anything else you want to talk about Olympics wise, and then we'll get into all the other stuff. We got a lot of other stuff.
Well, I wanted to, I didn't know this, but I guess everybody does. In the relays, the formula for the relays in track and swimming is if you swim in the prelims for your country, you swim in the prelims, and you don't get anything for that. But now you're in the gold medal race. You're not in that. You didn't. But if your country wins a medal, wins the race, you get a medal.
How about that?
How is that? That's random. What is that all about? And it came up because the young 16-year-old ran for us in a prelims. And I know they wanted to get him in the Olympics. He set a record for the youngest guy ever to be in the Olympics. His name is Quincy Wilson. Okay. And he's from the Bullis School outside of Washington in Maryland, great private school. And he's 16 years old. He ran in the prelims for us. He got smoked, Bob. He finished 7th. He finished last in his leg. Yeah. It was almost embarrassing because we ended up winning because our last 2 guys, ran their asses off to win the thing. But the announcers were almost embarrassed because, the cameras are on this kid and he's scrunching away from everybody because he finished 7th in his prelim. And then we won the thing, the 4x400 relay. Last night we won it. And they all said, there's Quincy in the stands. And they're talking about, he's getting a gold medal. There's a gold medal, youngest gold medal. What is that about?
We're going to talk. Let's talk about giving away medals.
Couldn't a country, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I'll finish up with this. Couldn't a country run 4 guys in one prelim, 4 guys in another prelim, and then another 4 guys win the gold medal? We get 12. What does that have to do with the race for the gold medals?
That's a good point. Something we want to get Rich to get in on. So let's take a break. Let's get Rich back, and we'll have some fun with medals, and then we'll go on.
Rich is running his leg of the relay right now.
There you go, and it's taken him a while.
Yeah.
We'll throw Rich under the bus and be back right after this. All right, Bob Stevens and Curry Kirkpatrick are back. We still don't have Rich. Should we endeavor to get Rich before we go on, or should we?
Is Justin trying to get him?
And then make an edit, I would imagine.
Justin, what's going on?
Rich informs me he's having technical difficulties with the internet. He's got the gremlins, and he's efforting, but he said go on without him. Soldier on without him.
All right. We will do that then. Let me ask you then, in the situation you just talked about where there could have been 12 medals, why don't we just give 2 bronze medals to Jordan Childs and the girl from Romania where we have the scoring problem? Just give them both the medal and let's go.
Exactly. Just like if the pole vaulters tie, they give them, they ask them, do you want to keep going, or you want to, you want to keep going? One of you gets gold, or we'll give both of you golds. I think I would opt for getting both guys golds. I mean, that's what I would think for.
I think we should do that. 2028.
Remember, I mentioned Childs last week.
Yes, you
and
did.
I was I was kind of upset because the Romanian girl had been awarded the bronze right after it finished.
Right.
And she was all happy. And then 3 minutes later, they come and said the Americans had protested, and they'd won their protest, and now so the Romanian girl loses, Childs wins, and she's all happy, and the Romanian girl's weeping. So then the next day, it goes up to another rung, right? And they say that Childs that the protest was a minute too late or something, right?
No, 4 seconds too late.
4 seconds.
4 seconds too late. They put a clock on this.
Yes,
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
And they give it to the Romanian, but then they give it back to Childs, right? At some point. And now Childs, is my understanding, Childs has the medal personally.
Yes.
Do you think, but she's supposed to, doesn't get it.
Yes.
Do you think she'll ever give it back?
Good question. I mean, that's where we need to get another medal. Coach is back with us.
We should give a medal to Basirico for coming back.
Yeah, we give a medal to him too. He was here. He was a part of it.
If you give it to me, you can't take it away. You can't take it away.
He gets a participation medal.
You got 1 minute to make a decision if you want to protest. 1 minute.
That's right. We were just talking about that, Rich, and Childs. And now, do you think she'll give it back?
No.
Childs, no. I think like Bob said, either we should give them both. And it's not the gold; it's a bronze, right?
Yeah,
it's a bronze medal. So who cares?
They should give them.
I would give them both bronzes.
Yes.
Or we should have a spin-off of they're on the ground, have a spin-off under the Eiffel Tower. That'd be cool. Or have a break contest.
Break dancing. Sure.
That's what they should do.
Right.
Because their event is on the mat, right? Is swirling around the mat, which is stupid.
There you go.
But let me ask seriously. They said they had 1 minute, right, to make a protest, I guess.
Yeah, and she missed it by 4 seconds. She missed it by 4 seconds.
I thought they made it by 4 seconds.
No,
she
missed it by 4
Well, they
seconds.
say that the Americans say they made it by 4 seconds, right?
Okay.
And the Romanians say, no way, we've got proof. So stupid.
That's good. So these girls trained for 4 years, and you're going to take 4 seconds away because they're saying they're too late by 4 seconds. Come on.
In an event that's not timed.
Right.
Yeah, there's no timing involved in this event, and yet the protest, 4 seconds, made all the difference. Let me ask you guys another question here. 2028 in LA. These are breaking is out.
Good.
That was it.
Is that right? Is that right?
It's out. Now coming in,
they're adding baseball, softball.
They're adding baseball and softball. They're adding flag football. They're adding cricket. Yeah, cricket.
Squash, I love cricket.
And lacrosse.
Yeah, those are good ones, I think.
Well, how do we not have
flag football?
But how do they not have baseball this year? And they had breakdancing instead. They had breakdancing, but not baseball. How is that possible?
I think they were seeing if breaking got any support, and it didn't get any crowds, right? Didn't seem to get any crowds.
It's all about the numbers now. I think we should go back to the days. I mean, I would get rid of most of these sports. I think we should have. This should only be sports that the Greeks might have done. I mean, that's the Olympics. Right. So that puts in most of your track and field. You keep the swimming in. By the way, they're going to, in 2028, the swimming, they're going to make another artificial pool at SoFi Stadium so that you can have 50,000 people watch the swimming.
The pool in '84 was the USC pool.
Right.
They're pool that they swim in. So
anyway, they're gonna now that they've had success with the fake pool. They're gonna put an above ground pool in. Stop and think of all the above ground pools you've ever been in your life. They're gonna have an Olympic Games in one.
Is this right? It's my understanding that in 28 they're going to have the swimming in the second week and the track and field in the first week.
That I don't know.
They're going to switch it around, which I don't know why they're doing that. There's probably a reason.
I don't care.
That's a big deal. That's a big deal, though, for the sports themselves.
And the flag football will be men and women, by the way.
Oh, wow.
There will be a women's flag football and a men's flag football.
Is flag football the same as Frisbee football?
No. Flag football. The way we played it, you put the little belt around and you got the little flags and you play flag like we used to play it in school.
Are we eligible to compete?
Too much football.
Well, of course we're eligible to compete. We're not too old.
All right, perfect.
You want me? I got a story going back, and since the Olympics are in 28 in LA.
All right. Yep. Give me an LA story.
My first Olympics were in LA in '84. I went with my friends from New Orleans, who I mentioned last week, Guy and Annie Smith. Annie Smith is the one that jumped into O.J. Simpson's lap in '94, but now 92. So now we're back in '84. And I'm doing the basketball. Of course, it was amateurs then. Bob Knight was coaching. And as I mentioned last week, Michael Jordan, this was the first real coming out for the coming star, Michael Jordan. Right. Everybody wondered how Jordan and Knight were going to get along. So, we were invited. The press could come to the off day practices. So that was the thing, everybody. And they got along fine, actually. So there was nothing to write about. But I was going to say, when I went with my friends, the Smiths, we went with them. And Guy Smith, my friend, was in charge of finding a place to stay for us in Los Angeles. And I said, look, let's try to find a place on the beach, one of the beach towns around. Because, we're going to be coming in anyway from anywhere.
And you do kind of like the beach, yeah.
Sure enough, he went to Manhattan Beach and found a house, this great house, right on the boardwalk, right on the sand. And it turned out that it was a setting. It was one of the sites for the film Against All Odds. I don't know if you remember that movie. Sure. It was a great song by
Rachel Ward, I think, right?
Exact. Oh man, you're onto it.
Wow,
Rachel Ward.
It was Rachel Ward, yeah.
And Jeff Bridges and Jimmy Woods were the stars.
All
and
right.
Our house that he rented happened to be the house that the cast stayed in. That's where all of the cast stayed in. So I immediately put dibs on Rachel Ward's room, of course. but the movie, it was a great LA movie where Jeff Bridges played this down and out quarterback for the Rams. And he was a great star. And then he disappeared, and he was sort of down and out guy. And Jimmy Woods was a gambler and drug guy, dealer, and he became friends with him. And then Rachel Ward was around, and she was Jimmy Woods' girlfriend until Jeff Bridges came on the scene. But the point is, Jimmy Woods' house in the movie, which was all over the movie, all these scenes, was the second row down from us. It was the second house down from where we stayed. So, they were there a year before we did. But the owner of this house that rented out to us was this amazing beach creature. He went by the name of Moon Doggy. That's all anybody called him. Didn't know his name. He was an older guy. He had a cane, but he was, on the beach, and that's where he lived. But he had one rule for us in the house, staying in the house. And he said, we had to put up, in the morning, we had to put up the American flag. He had a flag stand out on the deck. And in the evening, you had to take it down. You didn't have to play taps or anything, but you had to, go out. You didn't have to, go to attention. You just had to put the flag up and take the flag down. Okay. Well, we did that fine for a few days, and it was out there. One morning we were eating breakfast about 9:00, and we hadn't put it up yet. And we looked out, and Moondoggy was out on the deck, putting it up himself. And we said, So sure enough, he read the riot act to us. He said, look, I told you the rules. There's only one rule. You have to put the flag up. Well, we were about to put it up, and we found out that he was walking by every morning to see if we put that thing up. I mean, he was really an evening as well.
And so now, if anyone ever asks us where we got under the bus, we can point back to Moondoggy and say that's because he threw Curry under the bus.
That's right. I was thrown under the bus.
We got more to talk about when we come back for a third segment. This is We're on a roll here. Let's keep it going, and we'll throw some other people, not Curry this time, maybe, under the bus. All right, we welcome you back under the bus. Bob Stevens, along with Curry Kirkpatrick, and then Rich Basirico, who is there. He is. All right, joining us again. It's a quick break, Rich.
Out of the darkness into the light. Very good.
Yeah. I've got a couple of topics to bring up. You guys, take it where you want to go from there. Baseball. Pedro Grifol is finally relieved of his misery, and that's managing the Chicago White Sox. Obviously, we knew that was coming. You can kind of throw the White Sox under the bus for getting rid of him or hiring him in the first place, then getting rid of him, and then the kid that they have hired, Grady Sizemore, who not that long ago was playing for the old Cleveland Indians and the Red Sox and a couple of the teams. He's managing the team on an interim basis. They have already said he's not up for the job next year.
He's going to Yankees 12.
Yeah. They've already said you're not going to get it no matter what happens. Even if you beat the Yankees 12-2. Yeah, you're not getting the job.
Is he younger than the Cleveland manager?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Grady, I remember his name. Grady, didn't he play with a bunch of teams?
Ended up playing with a bunch of teams. Had injuries. Had some great years, 4 or 5 All-Star seasons, and then got hurt and bounced around a little bit. He curiously, when he was trying to get back into baseball, he didn't have much of a coaching background, and I guess he wasn't as well connected as he thought he was. He actually got a job back in baseball for $15 an hour as an intern to get back into it again. Wow. And within 3 years, he's managing the White Sox, although only until the end of this horribly miserable season. And then they're going to find somebody else. Who else would want that? I'm going to ask you guys. I mean, are there guys who would say, no, I don't want that job, who have maybe not been managers in the past, or maybe even have, who would say,
no, anybody would take it. Everybody would take it.
They take it.
Everybody still takes it.
The only way is to go up. How bad can you be? They might be the worst team. They may be worse than the 61 Mets, right?
Yeah, but there are only a few. There are only a few baseball jobs. There are only a few baseball jobs. Anybody would take it. Rich, I got a question. What Yankee are you throwing under the bus this week?
The whole team. The whole team.
Come on.
And how
except
about
for
Aaron
Jazz
Boone?
Chisholm, right?
Aaron Boone leaves the relief pitcher in there. He gives up 6 runs and hasn't gotten out yet. Aaron Boone's got to go under the bus. Aaron Boone, for sure.
Okay, Aaron Boone. Let's switch. Hey, let's switch. Yes. It's about to be football season. I want to throw some famous football names in their activities, their actions during training camp here, early in training camp. I mean, I think these guys do this for attention, but first of all, Aaron Rodgers shows up at training camp. He missed the mandatory mini camp before this one started. He missed it. He was supposed to be there, and the rumor was he was in Turkey. He went to Turkey for a vacation. So he shows up the first day of camp. He actually comes to camp. He shows up with this huge T-shirt with this large Egyptian cat on the front of it, and an even larger smirk on his face. I mean, come on, Aaron. All attention, right?
That's what it's all about.
Well, he even said today that they asked him about him playing in preseason games. Because I don't think I need to play in preseason games.
Yeah, right.
You don't.
Right.
I mean, I know you're good, but I mean, you're all pro. But you don't think that would help you get in some of these games? Guys are getting hurt.
Thank heavens we only have 3 of them now.
Well, that's true, but more guys are getting hurt in practice than they are getting in preseason games.
How about Joe Burrow? Speaking of guys showing up in training camp, Joe Burrow, the Cincinnati Bengals, shows up with a new look. He's got a platinum blonde buzz cut.
Yeah.
I mean, did you see this? And he looked, I guess he got the desired effect because he looks exactly like Eminem, the rapper, otherwise known as Marshall Mathers, otherwise known as, what's his other name? The real Slim Shady. He's got so many names, whatever. But, what's the deal? I mean, Joe Burrow has always been kind of, I don't know. He's
laid back.
Different guy. Well, but is he or isn't he? I think the Eminem's got an appropriate name for me for one of his songs. Appropriate name is Big Weenie, Big Weenie. And I think Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow has always been kind of fraudulent to me with the cigars and the laid back deal and looking Joe Cool. Yeah. He's Joe Cool all the time.
That's not that's not the best nickname of the week, though. Let me give you a better big.
I think he might be Big Weenie.
Yeah, let me give you a better one.
Okay.
The Guardians that I have on behind me here playing the Cubs, their hero in the first game of their series was a guy named John Kenzie Noel, young kid from Puerto Rico or the Dominican, but his nickname, and the manager gave it to him, Big Christmas. When your name is Noel and you're about 6'6", they call him Big Christmas.
Big Christmas.
He's about 6'6".
Great name.
Yeah,
great name.
That's a great nickname.
Yeah.
Works.
Yeah.
It works.
I got another football. I got one more football camp. Hijinks.
Yes.
Hijinks and training camp. This is in the Raiders camp. A rookie named Trey Taylor. I guess a fan did this, but he held up a Kermit the Frog puppet, a huge Kermit the Frog puppet, which had a Chiefs jersey on and had a Mahomes hair. He was dressed like Mahomes. He had a Mahomes Chiefs jersey, but he was really Kermit the Frog dressed as Mahomes. And he was this guy, Trey Taylor, was doing Mahomes, Mahomes has that weird high-pitched voice.
Right.
And Mahomes the puppet was going, "Hi, I'm Pat. I'm here. You're a bitch." I mean, you talk about blackboard material.
That's training camp,
locker room material. I mean, that's begging for a beheading. When the Chiefs play. And sure enough, Mahomes, this thing went viral. All right.
Sure.
Mahomes puppet going, "You're a bitch." It went viral, and Mahomes trainer said on his X, what it's called, we'll remember, just 2 words, we'll remember. And Mahomes himself came out and said, "It will be handled." Uh-oh. I mean, okay.
That's a 6
Raiders
touchdown game, huh?
Yeah, the Raiders upset the Chiefs, last Christmas.
Right.
But their next game, week 7, October 27 in Vegas, Mahomes versus the Raiders. And he's not going to be dressed as Kermit the Frog. He'll be real Mahomes this time.
Indeed. Final thoughts around anybody?
I missed out there a couple minutes. I have my favorite moment in the Olympics.
Okay.
As you know, I'm not a huge LeBron fan. You know that.
No.
Okay. So here's my favorite moment I think it was the quarterfinals. The U.S. was winning big, and they took LeBron out towards the end of the game, and he came out and sat down, and all of a sudden the French started clapping, and he stood up to wave to everybody, like to thank them, but they were actually clapping for the French swimmer who entered the arena. So the clapping wasn't even for him. It was for somebody else, but he stood among all the other players and started waving to the crowd. And I thought it was perfect. It was so perfect, the timing of that.
Stuff. French swimmer is the MVP, right?
I'm not sure that wasn't. I'm not sure. I'm not sure that wasn't a setup, Rich, because the guy on the mic, or the guy running the video, the screen, put a big picture. He put LeBron's. As LeBron was coming out on the bench, he had LeBron on the screen. So LeBron looked up and saw himself on the screen and heard the applause and stood up. It was very cringy.
Yeah,
but you're right. But it was another LeBron cringe moment.
How about you guys? How about Serena Williams being upset because they wouldn't give her a table when she didn't make reservations?
That I didn't hear.
Oh, she was upset with this French restaurant where she went to one of
It's a famous French
right,
restaurant at the top.
and she
Yeah.
didn't make reservations. And when she got there, she asked for a table, and they wouldn't give it to her. They said it was, they already all the tables were taken, and she was
Sure.
very upset about it.
Yeah.
So when you start to use your fame for a table at a restaurant,
Well, the
she gets to
restaurant
go underneath the bus.
Wait, wait a minute. We're not supposed to do that?
The restaurant
Only you
claims
and
it's a
Curry can
very
do that. Only you and
well.
Curry.
It's a very famous restaurant. It's very tough to get in. Serena just showed up with her crowd, had no
Right,
reservation.
right.
And the restaurant claimed, and I agree with them, they had all their tables were already claimed by
Sure.
people with reservations. And they said she could go to, there was a bar area with seating there, and that was all filled as well. But they apologized and they said Serena can come in anytime. But,
Oh,
I'm not sure this isn't, you know, enabler again, because
well,
Serena just showed up with a bunch of people and
right.
wanted
So,
to.
well, call and make a reservation. How hard
Yeah,
is it to do
yeah,
that? I'm sure she has an assistant that would do it also.
yeah.
Not very
Yeah, when I
hard.
go
I
into a
got.
restaurant, when I go into
I
a
want to.
restaurant and I have to wait, and they say, "What name are you giving?" I try to give out. I usually use Jack Nicholas, so that when they call out the name, everybody will look at you.
That's a good
I
idea. I
love.
usually Curry Kirkpatrick. That's what I use.
I
Works
want to
on the
give.
island, doesn't it?
I want to give the. I want to give the cringy medal, or under the bus cringy medal in the Olympics, to Joel Embiid,
Okay.
because I don't know if you saw this, but he got a French passport before the Olympics. Everybody thought he was going to play for France. That meant he was
Right.
going to play for France. So he has citizenship in both places. He didn't. He chose to play for us. So he was a villain the whole when he gets to
Sure,
Paris.
they booed
Everybody
him. Yeah,
boos him every game. Boo, 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 boo. So after we beat Serbia in that great game in the semifinals, and he played really well. After the game, of course, all the U.S. guys are up saluting the crowd, and Embiid got up, and his salute to the crowd was the old crotch chop. He's doing a
Oh,
oh,
crotch
oh,
chop. Oh yeah,
wow.
oh yeah.
Wow.
Very classy. Very
oh,
Yeah.
classy,
yeah,
Joel.
very,
He needs to
very
go
Very
into the
good.
classy.
bus.
Yeah,
He needs to go into the bus for sure.
yeah.
Indeed. Hey, I
Crotch
want to,
chops. I mean, he showed his true colors. I
yeah.
mean, you know, he wasn't. They weren't for the U.S. or or France colors. It was Planet Fool, Planet
Yeah.
Idiot.
I would get into the NASCAR move of the week, but I think we'll probably pass on that and wait and see what Austin Dillon gets it in the playoffs,
Oh, the
because he
guy.
ran
Everybody
two
wanted to
guys
punch
into
him
the
out.
wall.
Everybody wanted to punch him out, right?
Yeah, yeah, he ran two guys into the wall in order to win the last race to make it into the playoffs. He wasn't going to get in
Yeah.
any other way but to win the race. Took two guys into the wall in the last lap. So
Wow.
he'll get his. There's your Pat Mahomes, get back for sure. I did
Yeah.
want to tell one other quick story. Chichi Rodriguez passed away this past
Yeah.
week at 88. Golfing legend. What a character. Obviously a great player, a Hall of Fame player, but such a great character. And I have witnessed a moment with Chi-Chi that I think is worth sharing. He would usually do clinics when he would, that's part of how he made his money. He would go around and do clinics, and he's doing this clinic again. I think this is up in Cleveland, and he has a last trick that he does, has a number of trick shots, but he does this last trick where he puts a ball down and then puts another ball down a step in front of it. He'll hit the first ball and he says, "Okay, I'm going to slice this one." And then he takes a step and hooks this one, and the two are going to collide in midair. And I don't think he ever made it happen, but he made us believe he could.
Could do it.
You know,
Yeah.
he made us
That's
believe,
great.
yeah, he could do that. And
Did,
That's
did,
and
did he try it? Did he try it right there?
Oh yeah, he would do it, and he would even do it a couple of times. And I never saw it happen, but I believed it could, and
yeah.
and that's
That's
kind of
great.
the
That's
essence of
pretty
Chi
cool.
Chi, and
Yeah, that's cool.
maybe the
I
essence
only
of
met
sport, if we think it
I
can
only met
happen. Huh?
Chief. I used to love to watch him. When he made a long putt, he'd do the Matador thing, and
The
Right.
sword
Yeah.
dance, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
but I only spoke to him once. It's when I was doing a story. We made Lee Trevino a Sportsman of the Year one year, and I did this story. And of course, I went to talk to Chi because he knew Lee, of course.
Sure.
And I said, we talked for a while, and I said, "Have you got any great story? You got any funny stories about Trevino?" Trevino was a madman anyway. So,
Sure.
And Chichi said in his accent voice, he said, "No way, you could never use the stories I got on Lee Trevino." And Chichi was great.
That's fantastic. Boy, we could all start telling Trevino stories. I got one of those. We'll tell that some other time
I'm
when
sure. Yeah.
when we're getting ready to throw Lee Trevino under the bus. Thanks, guys. Good show. Any final thoughts before we exit out of here?
Go Yankees.
I got to ask Rich about his technical difficulties. Is he
I don't know what's happening in my house. Everything's breaking down. They got to get a new air conditioning, new this, new that. What can you do?
Including the old man?
Yeah, including the old man. Exactly right.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, breaking down too.
All right. Well, we'll get it all together, get everybody back together next week. Thanks so much for joining us. Our thanks to Justin Jarrett, our terrific producer, who even made a cameo in this show. And our thanks to Hudson's on the docks. Never thanked them this week. They are our wonderful sponsor. If you're ever on Hilton Head Island, Hudson's on the docks is the website. Hudson's is on the water, on the Intercoastal Waterway. Fabulous place to go. And I think we're all going to go there here soon.
Hope so. Let's do it.
You guys take care. Thanks a lot.
You too. Thank you.
We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.